Hey everyone, this is Gracie Uchley, and today I'll be leading our Chapter 3 discussion facilitation for interpersonal and conflict communication. And today we'll be discussing Chapter 3 of Advanced Interpersonal Communication, which is all about managing uncertainty. So, uncertainty, defined by our textbook, is really a feeling of doubt about what you know and about how much or how little information you have in a situation. So interpersonal communication, or the lack of it, can be a big source for uncertainty. It can reflect our uncertainty, and it can also help to resolve it as well. Some words that you can use to describe uncertainty are ambiguity, complex, little clarity, not enough information, or just simply the unknown. The uncertainty reduction theory argues that because uncertainty is uncomfortable for us, we seek out interpersonal communication, and that motivates us to bridge the gap of uncertainty, to gather more information, to reduce the uncertainty that we're feeling as much as possible. Information overload can happen when we have gathered too much information too fast at one time for our brains to process, and sometimes information overload can cause uncertainty as well. So uncertainty is not only rooted in a lack of information, but can also come out of having too much information at the same time. A good example of this would be the usage of dating apps and having a hard time making a decision on a partner due to too much information in your hands at one time to process and make a clear decision. So uncertainty again can be caused by not enough information or too much, or that information can also be inconsistent and we don't receive it in the same pattern in the same way, which can cause confusion for us. So some types of uncertainty that we can experience are cognitive uncertainty, which is when we have a hard time predicting attitudes, beliefs, thought processes of either ourselves or other people as well. We also experience behavioral uncertainty, where it can be difficult to interpret our own actions or predict the actions of others as well. And there's also relational uncertainty at hand. This is when there's ambiguity surrounding a relationship, and we can feel uncertainty about ourselves, about our own thoughts and patterns and behaviors, or we can also feel uncertain about our partner's thoughts, actions, or behaviors as well. Some common sources of uncertainty are deviance, where maybe someone's behavior is inconsistent, unusual, or strange, and it makes us feel like there is more uncertainty and a bigger problem at hand. There's also the anticipation of future interaction as well. Maybe you know that you're going to run into someone that you've had a conflict with, and the thought of that future interaction can cause uncertainty and bring anxiety to the forefront of your mind by not being able to predict the actions or thoughts of that person. There's also an incentive value where maybe the person that you're unsure about can provide you with a reward. If you look in our textbook on page 39, table 3.1, it discusses specific events and describes those events and why it can cause uncertainty for us, like maybe competing relationships, loss of contact with a partner or a friend, deception, or a change in personality. But it also discusses the term of ghosting. Ghosting is when a relational partner completely cuts off communication and contact with you and gives no explanation or reasoning why. This can happen with romantic partners, with friendships, or even family members. This causes a lot of uncertainty within our lives and is something that people deal with more and more frequently in the digital and technological age that we're in. But there are management techniques for dealing with uncertainty. So first, there are interactive strategies that you can take. Interactive strategies address the problem head on, it goes directly to the source, and it asks specific questions and encourages dialogue and disclosure. So let's say you're in a disagreement with a friend, You could take an interactive strategy and go directly to that friend and ask them their opinions, maybe their thoughts or their feelings, and try to gather information out of them directly. But you can also take an active strategy, which is a little more indirect than interactive, and it usually involves a third party to give you information on a situation. But you can also manipulate the environment as well. A good example of an active strategy would be, let's say you're in a friendship triangle. It's you and two other friends. One of those friends you've been in a disagreement with. So to alleviate that uncertainty, you go to the second friend and ask them questions to see if they have any information about what happened between you and that first friend. You can also manipulate the environment by maybe gathering information from a third party or already knowing a time and a place that this friend will be and showing up there and manipulating the environment to see if you can gather information to come to a conclusion and manage that uncertainty. There are also passive strategies, and these strategies are strict observations about the uncertainty in the situation at hand, and you gather and process that information on your own without going to a third party or the source of uncertainty itself. There's also the relational turbulence theory that's discussed in the textbook. This is a new theory that's still developing, but it addresses how experiences within a relationship can affect our view and our partner's view of the relationship as turbulent or not, which then affects the very important outcomes of the relationship. So if there's a specific instance of conflict in a relationship, this can cause you or your partner to view the relationship as overall turbulent, which could affect the outcome of the relationship and it ending and going separate ways. On the other hand, you could have a really positive experience with this partner and view the relationship as healthy and secure and non-turbulent, which then would affect the outcome of the relationship by you staying within it or your partner staying within it. So this theory focuses on three considerations of relationship parameters, experiences of specific episodes within the relationship, and then the general effects and outcomes based off of those experiences. So 3 key takeaways from chapter 3 are that uncertainty and information are always connected to each other, but the amount of information that you have can affect the level of uncertainty that you feel. For example, if you have more information, you may feel less uncertainty, or if you have less information, you may feel more uncertainty. But uncertainty takes on many forms, often dependent on your own experiences, perceptions, and your own relationship nature. And lastly, technology can both generate uncertainty by causing lots of questions and not giving enough information, or it can manage uncertainty or help you to manage uncertainty by finding information on whatever situation you're in and bridging that gap of uncertainty and answering questions. So lastly, if you'll look in the discussion facilitation post on Canvas, you'll see a handout that I've already posted with 5 key takeaways from this chapter and then 5 questions for you to answer in the discussion as well. I can't wait to see all of y'all's responses and to discuss chapter 3 with you. Thank you.